experimental subway or underground trains. A rare breed, but not unheard of. While numerous cities have had them, one transport system ordered 3 at once, which were probably among the most colorful test trains ever built. This is the story of the London 1986 tube stock. The trains of red, blue, and green. Hi, this is Jeffrey. So back in the mid-1980s, the newest deep-level tube stock trains on the London Underground was the 1983 stock. However, these trains suffered from poor reliability and slow boarding and were retired early. In the mid-1980s, the London Underground decided to embark on a new program to design a whole new generation of deep-level tube stock trains. It's a really fascinating story, so let's get started in learning about the red, green, and blue 1986 tube stock trains. Experimental rapid transit, metro, or underground trains. While these types of rolling stock are generally unusual or rare, they certainly played an interesting part in the history of electric traction. New York City's Brooklyn-Manhattan Transit Company may be the best known in the annals of urban rail exploratory equipment. Exotic rolling stock produced in the 1930s, such as the Green Hornet, built by Pullman Standard, the Bluebird built by the Clark Equipment Company, and the Budd-built stainless steel Zephyr, are legendary among transit enthusiasts. But across the Atlantic, the London Underground also had their share of interesting test stock. The 1935 tube stock, forerunner of the famed 1938 stock, were the first deep-level trains to feature motors and control equipment under the frame, freeing up space for passengers. 3 of the 6 Metropolitan Camel-built trains featured a streamlined front end. While interesting and avant-garde, it turned out to be impractical with little benefit. And in 1949, the Vista carriage, a modified 1938 tube stock with elongated and porthole windows, made its debut. It remained one of a kind. The 1960 tube stock trains were built as a test bed for automatic train operation, where control signals were picked up from the running rails. A fleet of 338 were envisioned, but were never ordered. And there were other experiments, such as the 1981 Westinghouse-equipped tube trains fitted with DC thyristor traction motors. While it wouldn't be another 5 years until the next major test train appeared, one of the more controversial tube stock trains would be placed into service in May of 1984. The 189 cars of the 1983 stock, built by Metro Camel, would replace the 1972 Mark II stock on the Jubilee line. Loosely based on the subsurface D78 stock with its similar single-leaf sliding doors, orange interior, and cab design, the 1983 stock turned out to be unreliable. While it had more seats, the narrower doors caused slower boarding. Electrical generators for lighting the carriages often failed, as did the motors. The last of them were withdrawn in July of 1998. Realizing a new approach to rolling stock was needed, London Transport ordered 3 prototype trains from 2 manufacturers to test new materials, construction methods, and seating layouts. And so, what would these new trains be? It was the 1986 tube stock. 2 were built by Metro Camel at its Washwood Heath factory. These were known as the Red Train, or also designated by the letter A, and the Green Train, known also by the letter C.
These new trains are quite impressive, aren't they?
Yes, they are much more modern.
The third, built by British Rail Engineering Limited at its Derby Lickchurch Lane Works, was the Blue Train, also known by the letter B. Each train consisted of twin two-carriage motor car sets, with one carriage in each set being equipped with a cab. All were built to the same design and were able to operate in 4, 6, or 8 carriage formations, despite each set having different electrical equipment supplied by different manufacturers. Now, let's take a look at some of the basic specifications of the 1986 tube stock. Number 1, length is 16.85 meters per car. Number 2, width is 2.75 meters. Number 3, height is 2.91 meters. Number 4, weight is 4.5 tons unloaded. Number 5, passenger capacity is approximately 30 seated passengers per car with a maximum of up to 150 per 4-car formation. Number 6, traction systems were GEC for the red, Brush traction for the blue, and Brown Boveri for the green. And finally, number 7, top speed is 72 kilometers per hour. The first set, the Green Train, was delivered to London in October of 1986.
Cheers to the 1986 stock.
The red train carried numbers 11, 21, 22, and 12. The blue train was numbered 13, 23, 24, and 14. And the green train was 15, 25, 26, and 16. However, they did not last long in service. Edward Burton, a technical specialist of engineering for the Underground, explains.
After an extensive testing program throughout the deep-level tube lines, the 1986 stock sporadically operated in passenger service on the Jubilee line between May of 1988 and August of 1989 in 6 carriage formations of 2 colour types each. They also ran on the Piccadilly line's Aldwych shuttle and on rare occasions the Central line. Thereafter, they entered storage. Then, after being stored for 7 years, all cars except green driving motor number 16 were scrapped in 1996. Afterwards, the carriage was stored at Ashgrove Bus Garage before being moved to the London Transport Museum's Acton Depot.
It's remarkably clean and modern, isn't it?
Yes, a proper improvement.
Much more comfortable.
While the 1986 stock may have looked moderately futuristic, their electromechanical equipment was quite standard for the time period. Developments in their body construction include the doors being hung from the roof and not recessing into the bodies when opened. The Riding Public Survey results showed that the green prototype was favored, which later provided the main design basis for the 1992 stock that was built for the Central Line, and for the Class 482, which was built for Network Southeast's Waterloo and City Line. While the 1986 stock may not have lasted long, its impact began shaping a newer generation of underground trains. And so there it is, the story of the London 1986 tube stock experimental trains, the red, green, and blue trains, or is it the red, blue, and green trains? I don't know. So, if you have any further information on these trains, just let us know in the comments below, because there's not a whole lot of information out there on them. Or if you have even ridden on them in London in the 1980s, that would be also interesting to hear. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the London 1986 tube stock trains. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.